Can we talk about the All-Star vote just for a second?
Yeah, we have to. Let's get it.
Please. And then we're gonna get to All-NBA.
We do whatever we want to do on this show.
So we know who the starters are. It's gonna be Tyrese, Damian Lillard, Tatum, Giannis, and Joel Embiid out east. Out west, it was Shea, it was Luka, it was Bron, it was KD, and it was Jokic. Those are our 10. Damian Lillard got the starting spot over Donovan Mitchell, who y'all had, and Jalen Brunson, who I had. And I was shocked and appalled until I saw the voting. It was the fans' fault. All of it. Jalen Brunson had more media votes. He had more player votes. But what Damian Lillard dominated was with the at-home votes, the fan votes. And I know Damian Lillard has transcended his market because he's got his own signature sneaker. He's one of the most popular players of all time. You know, he's hit 2 walk-off game-winning shots, so on and so forth. But in a market like New York and a player like Jalen Brunson, in my mind, he should get a lot more votes than what Damian Lillard did.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Damian Lillard also has 2 markets.
2 markets, yeah. He has Portland.
And guess what?
Milwaukee.
Both of those markets are smaller than New York City. Both of those markets are small. Combine both of those cities, it's smaller than New York City.
But
that's just pure. That's just population.
But I go
same way. It's the
But I'm
representation
kind of like out of there. But I wonder if it ever does kind of skew it a little
New
bit
York
in those
is
scenarios.
also split.
It's not though. With 20% of people are Nets fans.
But I'm just I
You know,
don't wanna say
when you do the
20%, but
votes, sometimes it'll have it for the fan votes. It gives you like multipliers. Like it'll be like times 3, times 4.
That's my problem.
And I didn't know, like, I wish it was like if you could look and see if there's a correspondence. Like Jalen Brunson went off this night.
Yes.
And so they're gonna start voting.
But I'm going
this
with
night
Derek.
was times 2, and Dame's night was like times 3 or whatever.
I'm going with Derek because he does have 2 markets.
Yeah.
But other than just the 2 markets, he is a more popular player
For sure.
in neutral markets. And what's a neutral? What's somewhere that don't correlate to? Just give me a random
Idaho.
place. Well, nobody's voting. Basketball wise. Memphis people who are just basketball fans, they probably are more familiar with Damian Lillard. And you know, if we take the United States or globally, basketball NBA fans, more of them are probably fans of Damian Lillard.
Sure. But we've also seen like pretty much the opposite of that too. I mean, 2 years ago was a perfect example. Wiggins made an all-star starting position based on fan voting.
He did. But
he's really only got one market. The Minnesota Timberwolves people don't give a damn about him.
He's coming from a dominant cultural spot, which is the Warriors with the Dynasty.
But even then, New York City fandom, and this is Yankees, this is I guess Jets, New York Knicks. They have some of the most diehard fans in all of America.
They do.
The one thing Mike pointed to is also a problem I have, not with Knicks fans or New York City fans, but just NBA in general. Because the people in the know, when you see that 3 times multiplier, they voting like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's so inconsistent that an average NBA fan does not know. You have to be really, really into fan voting to know that it's times 3 today. So I'm going to vote all of my favorite players because they count as 3 times more. I'm just surprised, that's all, because New York has never had a talent like this in like this current era, right? We had Melo. Melo, again, was transcended, so it doesn't really count. But for a market as big as it is to have that little, because we see markets that don't even have really good players be voting like crazy.
That's why that's the part of it where I didn't like, because I don't like the market conversation as far as what market you at. But when I talk about Dame Lillard, he does have multiple markets. Like that's just is what it is. But yeah, I don't think, because OKC has produced a lot of all-star starters. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Shea now, like they're a small market, and they've produced more all-star starters than the Knicks, and I don't know how many years, the last how many years. So, but yeah, I just think Damian Lillard is a more popular player, and that's just what it is. I do think the fan vote holds too much weight.
Right now it's at 25%. So here's the exact numbers. Jalen Brunson got 1.4 million votes, while Dame got 2.2. So Dame had almost a million more votes. That is kind of ridiculous. Again, not saying that Dame doesn't deserve to be, because we did our ballots. You know where my head is at with Dame. But I'm just like, the difference between his market and Dame is crazy. I mean, he had less votes than Donovan Mitchell. He had the same amount of votes as Tyrese Maxey. And Philly's also a really big market too, and they're diehard just like New York. But it's just like when you have a player of his caliber, I'm just surprised. That's
think
all. I'm
also-
surprised he ends up in 5th.
I'm surprised too,
backcourts.
man. I'm surprised too, man.
It's just you ain't putting no votes in. You would have went that 3 times that you might be here.
I'm a grown ass man.
I definitely asked y'all, I was like, did y'all do your all-star voting today? He was like, nope.
But no, he beat him in everything else. He was number 2 amongst the media while Damian Lillard was number 5. And then he was number 3 with the players when Damian Lillard was number 4. So it was just, the difference was the fan vote because they ended up with their weighted score was exactly the same.
And I'm not saying this because Jalen Brunson is my guy on my team. But even when the Wiggins shit happened, like, or when you have somebody popular that's your man. So it's like, hey, Justin Bieber, tweet out this.
So Wiggins did have the K-pop stuff from a couple of years ago.
So is that, you know what I mean? Like people start doing that shit and it's just like.
Anthony Edwards tried to get the barbs.
Yes.
Oh, he did.
But y'all want to hear some crazy stats from this fan vote?
Shingun. Auntie Beyonce from Houston, man. Next year we gonna get you in as the Beehive.
Oh, the Beehive gonna get him in there.
Ricky Council IV. What teams he play for?
Come on now.
Ricky
man.
Council IV. What teams he play for?
No.
Philadelphia 76ers, Arkansas University.
He got votes from players. DeLon Wright got votes from players. DJ
Respectfully
Davidson, Amani Bates, Ty Jerome, R.J. Hampton. These are
Didn't Steven
people.
Adams give votes too?
I'm only like Eastern Conference right now, but
Oh.
maybe. Lonzo Ball got votes from players.
Yeah, it's a whole article about the players that got votes.
Lonzo Ball has not suited up in 2 years.
I
We
just
saw him the
seen
other day,
it.
though.
Just seen him the other day.
So we
Skiing
need
was
to-
looking flawless, by the way.
So we definitely need to take away player vote. We need to
Because I remember when they was saying the
limit fan vote impact.
Yeah, because I remember when who was it? Zaza Pachulia was getting a bunch of votes.
Yes, with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And that's why they did like, oh, it's not all fan voting no more.
That's more unacceptable than the fans. Fans are gonna be fans.
Yeah. The players doing that
Players,
is
you
unacceptable.
need your ass whooped.
Ooh, I'm trying to figure out.
Bro, early on, Austin Reeves was like top 10 in those fan
He
votings
was.
for
Yeah.
All-Star.
He was above Devin Booker, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the fans were like,
The
no,
reality hit.
We can't have that. We cannot have that. Who is the worst player out west that got a vote from the players? Nate Williams got 2 votes.
Nate Williams is on the Rockets.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He got 2 votes.
Who do you think those
Teammates.
votes for?
Teammates. Had to be.
Yeah.
Had to be. Josh Christopher got fan votes. It's not on the NBA team. He's literally, his name has no team associated with it.
So yeah, it's kids voting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
No grown ass person just you voted for Josh Christopher.
You remember his high school
It was his
mixtape?
family. His family won.
Yeah, went to Arizona State.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them going, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The CDA over here,